Good morning, friends. Dr. Larry Mittenall. On my way to work, but had an idea, or at least a thought that occurred to me. I think it'd be worth our time to spend some time talking about the gift of reading stories aloud. So stay tuned and let's talk. But before we jump into it, don't forget to like and subscribe below so that we can share with more families. So I was recently remembering this wonderful family that we knew when we lived in New Hampshire. And what struck me one Sunday afternoon is that we were talking about stories that we share with one another and family time. And at the time, our children were really, really small. So just helping them to learn the phonics of reading and some of the basics and growing their vocabulary. And they happened to mention that they still read aloud together with their high school aged daughter, who was about to graduate and head on to college. And they mentioned how wonderful it was that on family car trips, they could crack open a book together and each take turns, and that was part of their family ritual and routine. And it got me thinking, how wonderful that is. We often think about reading aloud to our children when they're really, really young or really, really small. But why does that gift have to stop there? And the truth is, it doesn't. And there are a lot of great benefits to think about in reading aloud to our kids. Now, this applies to young readers and old readers alike. That you've probably walked into the library, as I have with my kids, and sometimes the librarian will have up the 5-word rule. So if a child opens a book and within the first page or so they come across 5 words that they don't understand, they're encouraged to put the book down and say, okay, this isn't my level book, let me find something that's more appropriate. Well, reading aloud, especially if the parent is the reader, there really is no limit to the books that you can read. And often that book that might be just out of range for one of our kids, now it becomes an education session or a time to learn or a time to expand or grow their vocabulary. And so that's one way to defeat the 5-word rule, especially in this time when our access to libraries is maybe a little bit more limited to help our kids kind of grow their knowledge base. The other is there's an opportunity for older siblings or parents to do a great job at modeling what fluency looks like in our reading style. And again, that turns out to be really helpful in kids' acquisition of language and helping them if they decide to do something in the sphere of kind of public speaking or giving oral reports, which I don't think they do as much in school anymore. But anyway, I digress. The other is, I think it's good for kids to see fluent readers who struggle or stumble over a word, right? I mean, as much as I enjoy reading, my kids have watched me gaffe, and that's a great opportunity too for kids to learn, what do you do? Or what do you do when you come across a word as an adult that you don't know? How do you help decode the context and come up with a good meaning and maybe learn or add to your vocabulary as well? And then lastly, there's always the bonding element, right? And of just sitting with really good stories. And the good thing is, while we're relatively in self-isolation at this point, it's something that you can take outside or in your backyard or sit under the stars at night and read together with a flashlight. So those are my thoughts and encouragements for the day. You all take good care and be well.